First thing I'm going to do is distribute the negative I. That gives me negative 3I minus I squared. And we learned that I squared is equal to negative 1. So I'm going to substitute negative 3I minus negative 1, a minus and a minus, negative 3I plus 1. But I'm not finished because remember I'm going to put A plus BI form. So it will be 1 minus 3I. Now I'm going to okay. For number 15, I've got to distribute. So 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. 2 times negative 2I is negative 4I. Now I've got to distribute the plus 3I. And that will give me minus 18I minus 6I squared. I can neaten this up a little bit. Negative 12 minus 22I. And then again, I'm going to substitute in negative 1 for I squared. And that becomes a negative and a negative, becomes plus 6. Negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6 minus 22I. And that's the right form. For number 16, I need to distribute. That's negative 24 minus 15I. And then 8I plus 5I squared. If I neaten this up a little bit, I get negative 24 minus 7I plus 5I squared. And then if I substitute in negative 1 for I squared, I have negative 24 minus 7I minus 5. And if I put that together, I get negative 29 minus 7I. And that's the correct form. So I'll put the box around. And the next thing that we have to talk about as far as complex numbers is conjugate. So what is the conjugate of 2 minus 4I? 2 plus 4I. You'll notice nothing changed but the sign. It went from a minus to a plus. So the conjugate of this is this. And we'll see in a minute why that's going to turn out to be so convenient. 17, the instructions say write each expression as a complex number in standard form. Okay? In standard form, they mean the A plus BI form. Alright, the first thing you need to do when you have complex numbers, you have to deal with your I. You are going to multiply by your conjugate. What is the conjugate of this? We've already found out. It's 2 plus 4I. Okay? But if you're going to multiply the bottom or the denominator by 2 plus 4I, you need to do the same thing for the numerator. So I'm multiplying top and bottom by the same expression. Okay, so what happens when I multiply 2 minus 4I by 2 plus 4I? Okay. Well, I'm going to have to distribute to find out. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4I is 8I. Negative 4I times 2 is negative 8I. And negative 4I multiplied by positive 4I is negative 16I squared. Okay. There's some neatening up things that I can do there. So let's come down here and I'll do that. First of all, look what happens to those middle terms. Plus 8i minus 8i, that cancels out. We still have to deal with our numerator. We're going to do that in a minute. And so that leaves us 4 minus 16i squared on the bottom. Okay, I can neaten that up a little bit more because I can replace that with negative 1. So what I really have is 4 minus negative 16, which is 20. Okay, so I have the bottom taken care of. And that was the whole point. We don't want to iron the denominator. That's bad manners. That's just something mathematicians don't want. So the way you get rid of it is multiply by its conjugate. Now I've got to go through the process again and do the same thing to the numerator. So I've got to take 3 plus 4i and multiply it by 2 plus 4i. Okay, that gives me 6. It's 3 times 2. 3 times 4i is 12i. Plus 4i times 2 is 8i. Plus 16i squared. And we're just going to follow through and neaten up just a little bit. 6 plus, I can do 12i and 8i and get 20i. And then I can come down here, and I'm going to replace I squared with negative 1. So that gives me 6 plus 20i minus 16, because I have a plus and a minus. That's going to still be a negative. And I want to put the real part first, so that gives me negative 10, because 6 minus 16 is negative 10, plus 20i. And so that's correct, but we're still not finished, because if you remember, we got to get all of our real stuff together, and all of our imaginary stuff needs to come after that. So I'm going to break it up. Okay, if I break it up like that, which that's equivalent, but it's just broken up, I have my real stuff first and my imaginary part second. That's the a plus bi form. And then it's pretty simple to see how it simplifies. 20 divided by 20 is 1, so that's just 1. That's the answer to that. And after you've had a little bit of practice, it won't take that many steps. I just wanted to show everything. So let's look at 18. Again, we don't want that I in the denominator, and the way that we work around that is multiplying by its conjugate. And what you multiply by the denominator, you also have to multiply by the numerator. Otherwise, you change something. Okay, so let's do that little bit of math. Let's come down here. We're going to do 5 minus 2i multiplied by 3 minus 4i top. We're going to do this on the bottom. And there's a shortcut. I think after you work several of these, you'll see what the shortcut is as far as the denominator is concerned. But let me just go ahead and work through this one with you. 3 times 3 is 9. All I'm doing is multiplying these. I get negative 12i plus 12i and minus 16i squared. And we'll just deal with the denominator, then we'll come back and deal with the numerator. So if you look, those two cancel out, and we're left with 9 minus 16. And I'm going to go ahead and plug in my negative 1 here for I squared. And I get 9 minus negative 16, which is equivalent to 9 plus 16, and we have 25 in the denominator. Okay, for the numerator, if I FOIL or distribute, I get 15 minus 20i minus 6i plus 8i squared. If I beat this up a little bit, I get 15 minus 26i plus 8 times -1. So that gives me 15 minus 26i minus 8. 15 minus 8 is 7, and then minus 26i. This looks pretty good. All I have to do is separate it. So I have all of my real first. And I know that's an improper fraction. I'm okay with that.